As graduation inched inevitably closer, I began to think about what would come next. I began to think about traveling. These days, anyone could go on the internet and get directions to anywhere within seconds. No questions asked. But what if we did not have directions? What if we did not have a destination? That is what we face after tonight, after we leave the safe, protective walls of Arroyo High School, a journey with neither direction nor sure destination. But amidst our anxiety, remember, as Winston Churchill said, the farther backward you can look, the farther forward you can see. So as we prepare ourselves for this epic journey, let us reflect on the lessons we have learned as knights, the lessons we have learned in physics. The most basic law in Newtonian physics is force equals mass times acceleration. In other words, in order to change the direction of an object or increase its speed, a force must be applied. In the same sense, in order to have your own sense of direction and your own speed, we must also apply a force and point ourselves and go towards our goal. Physics in reality, furthermore, always includes the tricky condition of friction, the backwards force that resists any forward force and movement. In the same way, we will encounter friction in our lives in the form of obstacles that will try to stop us, distract us, and slow us down so that we never reach our goals. So when we face this negative force, we must continue to push forward if we are ever to reach our ultimate destination. Take a look at a few others. Nelson Mandela himself faced the friction of 27 years of imprisonment before he was elected president of the first democratic government in South Africa, marking the end of nearly 50 years of apartheid racial segregation. J.K. Rowling, author of the world-famous Harry Potter series, faced the friction of near homelessness while also struggling as a single mother before becoming one of the most successful women in the world. Or Lance Armstrong, who faced the friction of intensive chemotherapy in his fight against cancer before going on to win the Tour de France a record 7 times. The point is, friction will always exist, but what also exists is your ability to overcome it. Just apply your force. And if there ever is a voice, whether it be your own or somebody else's, telling you otherwise, that you cannot, remember to not let anybody tell you what you can't do, for that voice is nothing but unexpected friction. Finally, at the core of classical physics is the element of inertia, the tendency of an object to resist any change in its motion. You may believe now, and even when you're older, that it is impossible for you to change anything, that the world is too resistant, too strong in its inertia for you to have any individual effect. But as journalist for the Daily Planet, Clark Kent, once said, "You're much stronger than you think you are." So if even the fondly nicknamed Man of Tomorrow believes in us, we must also believe in ourselves. As we delve deeper into more complicated physics, it speaks of particles that communicate instantaneously, even if they're traveling in opposite directions at the speed of light. So if you are even remotely worried, nervous, or scared by what lies ahead, think of your fellow classmates not as classmates, but instead as your fellow particles, for we will always be connected to each other, even if we are a universe apart. So, fellow members of the class of 2011, here is your universal door to uncharted territory. But before we leave, remember that the only way to know where you're going is by knowing where you began. Arroyo High School, El Monte, here, home. So go out and have your human experience. May the force to reach your goals, overcome obstacles, and change the world, may this force be with you. Awesome.